We're putting the plans together for basketball, trying to get ourselves up to those who have played basketball. There are a lot of basketball players in this house. I hear the president talking about dropping people from championship and so forth. He'd be the top point guard. But little them, I want to tell you, I've been going to YMCA since 1970. And I've seen a lot of basketball. Yes, I didn't see somebody come out and play for those. Alright? But I saw a guy play, and I saw a guy play that's going to realize how to play, Yeah. All guy called Western Bay. They had a small fire that's more on Tuesday, Matthias Limley. They had a power called Program Masons. Yep. And they had a center called Pasi Kama. This man just moved. Now, everybody know when the first professional basketball player came here and see him, watch him play, because he was probably the best player in the world at that time. And then he saw something that had him mesmerized. Because we were able, at that time, 74, 75, around there, to have a basketball player who had all the requisite of a professional basketball NBA player. Size, style, class, force, loose, everything. And we invested 5. So 5 stopped me from being an NBA. But it's not true. But he said did a lot of good things for basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give some love to Mr. David Cheer. We got to show some love here. Basketball top without a big man. And I tell you the truth, I was a kid. And then I came back home and I looked him over and I looked him right in the face. But he had a bad turnaround chip. Those of y'all give some love to Mr. Winston Cole. To my co-host. That's who.
And since we are fundraising, we need to know.
I wanted to just say something really small. We're talking about
being present. We're talking about emotional intelligence. One of the things we learn in basketball is to be emotionally intelligent. You always gotta manage your emotions on the court. Because if you let your emotions take over, then you lose control of the game. And the whole idea is that when you get on the court, you play your game and not your opponent's game. Right? Now, one of the people I most admired, we're talking about being very present, emotionally present on the court, was Mish Atoka. He's not here, but Mish had a mean no-look pass. And now, if you were not present on that court, meaning if you are not one with him, do not see his eyes, you do not read his speech, you will miss that pass. Alright? And Mish was just crazy. When he played, the whole court was upside down because you never see it coming. It just comes like a flash, whoop, down the court. And if you don't get that ball, you mess the whole game. So if you play with Mish, you have to be present. If you're playing on that team, you have to be 100% present on that team to win that game. And that's what I talk about when I talk about basketball, about teamwork. That you got to be one with your partners. So those are some of the things that I think that come to mind when I think about what basketball has done for me. Well, Daniels, Mona Daniels, Annie, is she here?
Good evening. For Fiscal Affairs at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning of the Republic of Liberia, with responsibility for managing the financial resources of the country, developing and administering financial rules and regulations, overseeing matters relating to government accounting and reporting, overseeing matters relating to tax and revenue policies and reform, and overseeing overall expenditure monitoring. Before becoming Deputy Minister for Fiscal Affairs in 2014, he served as Deputy Minister for Revenues in 2012 at the Ministry of Finance and previously as Acting Deputy Minister for Regional and Sectoral Planning at the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs in 2011. A unique combination of experience in private sector, non-for-profit sector, and the public sector. He brings wealth of experience and interest in policy formulation and analysis, program evaluation, finance, and accounting. With the implementation of the poverty reduction strategy, as well as his involvement in the development of Liberia's national vision, Liberia Rising 2030, and the 5-year development plan. The agenda for transformation has well positioned him in fully understanding and appreciating the changes to Liberia's development, as well as what key interventions are required to advance the development goals. James holds a bachelor's degree in accounting and economics from Zion United College, an MBA in corporate finance from the University of St. Thomas, and PhD in public policy and administration from Walden University. He is married and blessed with 3 children. James can be contacted at jfcoley@mfdp.com or jfcoley@gmail.com. Thank you for your time.
Mr. President and officers of the YMCA Old Timers Basketball Association, members of the association, officials of government here present, distinguished platform guests, other invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by thanking the leadership of the YMCA Old Timers Basketball Association for the invitation to address this great occasion. I was humbled by the invitation because I'm aware that there are a lot more uniquely qualified and experienced folks out there who have done a better job than I would ever be able to do. Frankly, when the letter indicated that the inaugural committee and the entire leadership of the YMCA Old Timers Basketball Association, in quote, unanimously selected me to serve as guest speaker on this auspicious occasion, I knew what it meant to have friends in high places. When you have a friend like Sam Wulu chairing the inaugural committee, you have John Coffey, you have A.B. Kroma, you have Benedict Satu as the president-elect, you can understand why James Colley will be selected. Friendship. Considering that I'm the least likely candidate to perform this role, and I say so with humility. Never played the game of basketball before, and also not a very good orator by any measure. But I must admit that I'm very honored to be here this evening, and it is my hope and fervent prayer that I will not fail, neither will I disappoint my friends. Additionally, I want to use this opportunity to familiarize myself with all that play in youth development, in youth mentorship, and the overall development. We spend a lot of time witnessing basketball during recess, and after school, I will see my friends Scalisa, Sam McCarthy, Richard Johnson, Blama Torba, and the rest of the guys play basketball at SDH. Over the years in Liberia and the world over, basketball has not only been an interesting game, but an educative one as well. In fact, we'll talk about some of the things about intelligence and the kind of mindset you bring to the game to be alert. I do not have empirical data to back what I'm saying, but from anecdotes, you can see that most people who play basketball, and I put in quotation professional basketball, but our context, do live very productive professional life in Liberia. This suggests to me that the game to it. And those who play the games know that there is life after the game and therefore prepare themselves for that eventuality. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, because the essence of today's program, and I can argue further, the reason for the existence of the association is more than exercising and playing basketball. Permit me then to talk to you very briefly on a simple yet important topic of giving and especially giving back. Because giving is very important, Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men who lived in the 19th century, said, "He who dies rich dies disgraced." You can see why Andrew Carnegie will become one of the greatest philanthropists of our times. Because to him, it made no sense to have so much while many in the world have so little or nothing and then died with such wealth. For him, sharing the wealth with less fortunate rather than bequeathing it to his children who evidently had enough was a higher purpose for him. That is why Andrew Carnegie will give everything to charity. I think, personally, it is a failure of character when we think that it's only the surplus or the excess of our possession that we can and should give to those in need. I usually tell people that giving is not necessarily a function of how much more you have. It is a value system. You have to believe it. You have to want to do it. And the reason is, I've seen people who have a lot and yet give nothing. But I've also seen people who have very little and yet they give. Colleagues, I'm a direct beneficiary of giving. And I believe that if it were not because someone decided to give, the odds of being standing here today would have been extremely slim or non-existent. As someone who cooked and sold kobo with his mother, there was no foreseeable possibility of going to Zion Community College, a private college. But the act of giving made the difference. Giving back is everything. What the old timers are about to do for the YMCA, a place they either began their career or perfected it, is an enviable thing. And I must inform you that we appreciate what you want to do. If a reasonable percentage to give back either to their parents, their universities, their schools, their organizations, their churches, their mosques, their community or their country, trust me, we will have some of the major problems of the world eased. When God blesses us, most often it is not just for us and for our immediate families. He does so in order for us to be a blessing to our surroundings and our associates. Too often, we hardly remember to identify ourselves with our former associates, least to mention giving back. This action is not only bad, it is unproductive. And I think the new leadership of the old timers are trying to break that. You have to go back. Martin talked about when they were growing up at the YMCA, the kinds of facilities that were there, what they enjoyed. If everyone who went through that war walked away and never turned back to give or to do anything, what happened to lots of children who stand in need? So it's important to be able to go back, to be able to give. Mr. Pelham talked about when they were growing up, coaches were mature people that inspire young people. So this giving we're talking about is not just giving money. When we give back, we provide bread to someone who may be hungry. We help a child to remain in school, or even provide an opportunity for a family. By giving back, especially to someone or an organization or an institution that may not be able to offer anything in return, we feel connected to each other as one people with a single purpose. Everyone and anyone can give and must give back. Giving or giving back is not, like I said, only financial. You can give back your time or your ideas. Just by being present and identifying, you are indeed giving back. So there is absolutely no excuse for not giving or giving back. As you do the fundraising rally for the renovation of the bathrooms, the lockers, the installation of the glass bowl, the roof, your exercise room, the youth vocational basketball program, you are definitely giving or giving back. And for those of you and many others who went through those wars of the Y, it is an imperative that you go back and ensure that the Y give to others what it gave to you during your youth. Let me use this time once again to thank you for the opportunity and wish you all the best. It is my hope and my prayer that this association, and especially this new leadership, will work as closely and as cooperatively with all of the members of the association to ensure that the overarching objectives are achieved. I believe that all of you have one goal and one objective, and that is to see your organization live on and continue to impact the lives of younger beneficiaries of the Y. It is and should be in no one's, only one person can be president at a time. And just because it is you, Boniface Satu, it doesn't mean that you are the best or that you have all the ideas. If you develop that mentality, you will be setting yourself up for total failure. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our country stands in need of great and exemplary leadership, especially as we approach a critical period in our nation's history. Let us not take for granted the gains that we've made together as a country and a people. Let us not deceive ourselves that the gains cannot be reversed. Depending on the decisions we make, the pronouncement we make, the actions we take, our country's course to be advanced or risk. It therefore behooves us all to be prepared to take action jealously to protect and defend the gains we've made together. And I believe it starts in this grassroots organization. Again, let me use this opportunity to express my profound thanks and appreciation to the association for the selection and congratulate you, the newly elected team, and wish you all the best in your endeavor. May God bless our country.
Appreciate it, and we will work towards giving to our community. Well, by directive of the chairman here, we're going to tweak our schedule a little bit, and I would like to call all the members of the Old Timers to come out here, and we're going to do a selection. So all the members of the Old Timers.
Yeah.
just going to give a few remarks. This is a man here with a vision, values. We're looking at the 2020 Olympics, and we are hoping to give him all the support. Once again, without further ado, allow me to introduce to you all the most honorable and esteemed. I'm a boss man. Minister Sir and Toe from Minister of Living. Y'all please stop now. Bring it up front. I'm a boss man. I'm a boss man. I'm a boss man. No clap, man. No contract for you, man. No clap.
Old Timer Association, YMCA, Old Timer Basketball Old Timer Association, leaders of other sporting federations here, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. Well, I too am blessed to have with me my better half who stand with me, Madam. My inauguration, that's all. But we're entering this thing about the same time. We're about to take on a journey, a task that puts us on a journey to what we hope will be success. You know, today is a very important day for us. I like the way it started. We all were kind of all of those things. It never took the passion of basketball from you. In fact, it's that passion that has brought us to this point. We start now to dream about having basketball come back to what it used to be. I'm here to encourage you now to step out of that dream. Step out of the dream and step into the real world. You can make that dream real. It may not be the way you enjoyed it, but you can make it even better for the younger people today. We come to the ministry with a lens that views sports as an opportunistic conduit for youth development. We enjoy the game, yes, but we think that we need to pay a little bit more attention to the things that lead up to the game. We think that rather than just see the young man play or the young woman play basketball on the day off, we think you need to think about the things that help them to get there. And so this is why seeing the YMCA Old Timer Basketball Association actually coming up and forming themselves in the way they are, and in seeing the passion that's coming up, it makes me to know that I'm starting this thing in my role as minister with a strong team around me. Most of what you said, most of what the president said, are things that we all share. Yes, I was glad when I heard the song just now, because I wasn't just only listening to it, I was also singing it. But I was singing it from my professional perspective as a fan. Yeah, I watched the game. Yeah, I watched the game. I enjoyed the game. Most of you here, I mean, we were chanting your names, you know, from the stars, from the stands, and I have to say that, you know, to be in the same room, you know, with some of the people that I really admire at the time, on a night like this, I mean, I really am really happy. I grew up in the same community with my brother Ori. Yeah, and you want me to call him here, but I call it. Yeah. I mean, it was Ori in our community, Bao, you know, the brothers were in our community. Big Brother Chair was there as well. Yeah. And there were many others, you know. It was always a good thing, you know, during those days when you come to the sports commission and the players are going in and your brother stops by and just look at you, man, you know, you already won some points. Yeah. So, at least, no, maybe that was back in the day, yeah. So, you know, so sometimes they look at you, you know you won some points. But the spirit was in that place. People won and lost games, but they didn't kill each other. Right. You know, I mean, the same friends who you saw losing the games, right? They actually got together after the game and they had a good time. look, the same things can happen and even better. I really believe that. I believe that the same old way that we enjoyed it yesterday, we can do it today and even more. In fact, it will be better because you have been to better places with this game. And you've seen what a better game looks like. Some of you have played in better leagues, you know. So now let's bring it all back home. Because there are lots of young people out there who can actually go all the way to the top, but only on your shoulders. Alright? So for me, somebody asked me, what would you like?